Shalom. Yahweh once again. Giving all praises to
Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Kakadash.
And like we were saying, man, we was going into how here we are in the year 2023, and Apostle Tar coined this the year of the prophecies, all the prophecies coming to pass. Roughly paraphrasing. And so, obviously,
the hopeful year.
Yeah, the hopeful year of the prophecies coming to pass, which obviously that's a good attitude to have, a good spirit to be in. Looking for these prophecies to come to pass. And the most major prophecy is the MOTB, all right, the Karagma.
Revelation 20 and 4.
Yeah, and so we're getting closer to that prophecy being fulfilled, obviously. We got Elon Musk, and I was thinking about that recently, how he said, I think the time frame which it ends around is June or July. That's when he's going to start the human trials for his Neuralink. So we're getting closer, man. But you got any precepts?
I was meditating on that, like, Lord's will, hopefully all these prophecies do come to pass this year. I don't know if I don't want to say I'm speaking for myself here. I'm ready to get the hell out of here. But we all know this kingdom has to go before, the new kingdom could come.
Yeah, because right now we're in Esau's world. We're in his kingdom. All right. Job 9:24 says that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And then how do you find out who the wicked is? You read Malachi chapter 1, verse 3. You can start at verse 3. You understand? Get that in Second Ezra. Esau's the end of that. Second Ezra 6 and 9.
This is Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Continue.
Yeah.
The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question, Ezra, asked thou not. I answered then and said, O Lord, that bearest rule, if I have found favor in thy sight. I beseech thee, show thy servant the end of thy tokens, whereof thou showedest me part the last night.
And you didn't just show it to just any old nigga, just any old person. Both sides gave it to somebody who was worthy, somebody who was diligent, and that he knew was gonna push out these prophecies and speak about them, Because if you just give it to somebody that doesn't care, or that doesn't have faith, that lacks faith, they can be like, okay, all right,
That's not your pros amongst one.
yeah, well, all right, we'll see if it happens. Because if you have a lack of faith, then you don't believe in prophecy.
Right.
So, like we just read, man, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So we have next in the world to rule. We have next, and like I said, this world right now is occupied by the wicked.
Alright, this is Matthew 25 and 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd.
Whoa. Can we finish it?
As a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats.
Right. So when Yahweh Shai comes back, it's not going to be hand joining hands, kumbaya, let's sing songs and get along and be together. No, when Yahweh Shai comes back, it says that he's not going to meet you as a man. Matter of fact, you want to read that, get that precept? Because when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's not going to come back. He's not going to come like he did before, when he was just spiritual. He wasn't getting physical. You know, he wasn't trying to take down the Romans. All right. If anything, he was telling you to obey the Roman Empire because they're set up to rule at that particular time.
This is Isaiah 47:3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, ye thy shame shall be seen, and I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Right. And let's emphasize that word, vengeance. I thought God loves everybody. I thought he's just all love. He's forgiving. You know. Oh, let's just forget about what happened 300, 400 years ago when they put the Negro man in captivity and took the Native Americans' land and slaughtered them. No, let's just forget about that.
Let's let bygones be bygones.
Come on, man. The Most High, he's going to take vengeance for what you did. All right? Scriptures say that the Israelites, the people right here in this sign, are the apple of the Most High's eye. So, picture this. Say there's a bully on the block and he's messing with your right-hand man, or like your brother or your sister. You know what I'm saying? You're not just going to take lightly to it. You're going to do something about it. You're not going to just let that individual keep getting bullied. You know, whether you have a conversation with the bully, but really that's the way to go. That's the way to go. Have a conversation with them, tell their parent or something like that.
You know, that's even say you and your brother, y'all might get into it, but your brother's not gonna let somebody else talk to you like that. You know? Kind of that same concept. Where was I at? This is Matthew 25:34. It says, this is the point. It says, then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world.
Right, and so really we were set up to rule this world from the beginning. But due to what happened in the garden with the serpent and Eve, that's when we fell. That's when we learned sin. All right, because before that we didn't sin. We was gods in the earth. So once sin comes into the equation, that's when we become mortal people. We die like men, basically. That's
why ultimately, at the end of the day, we're looking for the kingdom. That's really what we strive for every day. Like, we can't wait for that day.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 15 and 15.
Is that what? 1 Corinthians?
15 and 50.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 50. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh.
Right, flesh and blood, meaning that the bodies that we have now, all right, we can't go into the kingdom like that. Because these bodies that we have, we're subject to sin. So that's these are corruptible bodies that we have, man. We get sick, all right.
It says, neither doeth corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
Yeah, so when we get into the kingdom, we're gonna have new bodies. We're gonna have our spiritual bodies, and we're gonna have spiritual power. So again, it's a beautiful thing what we have to look forward to. Not having these bodies weigh us down in the kingdom.
I get this real quick. Yeah. This is James chapter 5, verse 7. It says, be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh.
Yeah, if the Lord, if the day of the Lord was close back then, how much closer are we now, man?
Right. This place is ripe for judgment. That one?
Yeah, Romans 8 and 20. Because believe it or not, the Most High programmed us to go off. He made us go off.
This is Romans chapter 8, verse 20. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same in hope.
Yeah. So, like I said, the Most High programmed us to not be perfect. But that's a beautiful sign of when we're going to get into the kingdom, because we're going to get into the new covenant. Get that? Is that Jeremiah 31? And then also it's in Hebrews. Jeremiah 31.
Oh, chapter is fire. This is Jeremiah 31 and 31.
You can read that and then we can jump around in there. What?
It says, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their father in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt.
Yeah, because during the time of the Exodus, when we were rescued from ancient Egypt under the Pharaoh, we kind of just went into the new covenant, not the new covenant. We went into the old covenant by default. We're like, all right, the Most High made you our people, so we're gonna enter into the new covenant. We got to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, which obviously we couldn't keep them. We couldn't keep them back then, and we can't keep them today. So that's the reason why we need a Savior.
So, which my covenant they break, although I was an husbandman unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward part and write it in their hearts.
Yeah, write it in our hearts. We're not gonna have these stony hearts. Or not. Yeah. I think that, what is that? That's in Ezekiel.
Replace their stony hearts with a fleshly heart.
Yeah, get that. That's Ezekiel. What is that? Ezekiel 36.
This is Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 26. A new heart also will I give you.
Actually, we start off a couple verses. See if there's some more beat on that more.
Let's start at 24. This is Ezekiel 36 and 24. I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land.
Now, start at verse 14. Read verse 14.
This is Ezekiel 36 and 14. Therefore thou shalt devour men no more, neither berave thy nations any more, saith the Lord thy power. Neither will I cause men to hear in thee the shame of the heathen anymore. Neither shalt thou bear the reproach of the people anymore. Neither shalt thou cause thy nations to fall anymore, saith the Lord Yahweh.
Alright, go back to what verse you was at originally.
This is
I thought there was something else.
Ezekiel 36 and 44. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you.
Wait, so is this a prophecy that happened already? Did this happen?
No,
Did this happen already, or is it getting ready to happen?
it's getting ready to happen.
Right. So when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's going to gather his people from the four corners of the earth. Because like it says in Deuteronomy chapter 28, it speaks about the curses. It says how his people are scattered, man. So how is the Most High going to get his people together? He's going to get his people together when Yahweh Shai comes back. He comes back on a gigantic UFO. You know what I'm saying? So the destruction of Babylon, the destruction of this place, is going to be synonymous. It's going to go hand in hand with our salvation, right? Assuming you're of the elect. You understand? So that's why we say that we can't wait for prophecies to come to pass.
Right.
The sooner the better.
Right. It says, then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you.
All our idols. What's an idol?
Christianity.
You could say Christianity is an idol. You could say worshiping Allah is an idol. Buddhism, following, horoscopes or whatever, zodiac signs, which, that's witchcraft.
Right.
So our people, they take part in a lot of foolishness in this world, right? A lot of philosophies which they have no business being a part of. So that's why the Most High, he's going to kill off a lot of his people when the day of judgment comes, man. It's not going to be like the time of Exodus where he saves everybody, including the mixed multitude. He's only coming back for a small remnant.
Right.
The 144,000, which is the governing body, and then the 1/3, which the number can be, it's innumerable. We're gonna have to wait and see how that plays out.
It says, and I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgment and do them.
Yeah, because going back to what we just read, he said how you got Israelites that are scattered. All right, so you're gonna have Israelites that look like different nations that aren't even really gonna have a chance to understand that they're Israelites. Because if you look at somebody and they look like an Edomite, or let's just say that they look like a Elamite, or a so-called East African, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, nah, I'm just what I am. But they don't understand, or they don't know that they're Israelites. They're strangers. And ultimately, when World War III fully kicks off, the destruction is really going to take place in key areas. Mainly Babylon the Great. This place is going to be wiped out. And it's going to also take place, in the Middle East. So you're going to have some land that's untouched. That's not really looking like a war zone. So where are we at?
I'm going to go back to Jeremiah.
Okay.
This is Jeremiah 31 and 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts, and will bear their power, and they shall be my people. Let me reread that. I read that wrong. And I will put my law in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more, every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Now the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them.
Yeah, so we're not going to have to go out and teach anymore.
Right.
We're not going to have to teach our people no more. Because they're going to know that they're Israelites. They're going to have their laws embedded into their inward parts. It's going to be programmed into their mind, their spirit.
They're going to be perfect in the kingdom.
Yeah. You're not going to have to tell them, yo, stop being poor, man. they're gonna know. They're gonna come out the womb and they're gonna know.
I can get this real quick.
Yeah.
This is Hebrews chapter 10, verse 16. This is the covenant that I will make with them after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their hearts, and in their minds will I write them, and their sins and iniquities will I remember no more.
Yeah, we're gonna have a clean slate. Most High is gonna forgive us. He's gonna have mercy on us, and that's the Yahweh.
It says, now where remission of these is, there is no more offering for sin.
Yes. Now, you got something else?
Now you can
Psalms 110 and 3.
This is Psalms chapter 110, verse 3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth.
Yeah, so when Judgment Day comes, when they see America just taken out, wiped out, they see the chariots in the skies, our people gonna be like, what the hell's going on, man? They're gonna see the elect coming down off the ships, They're gonna be like, yo, who are these people? Like, yo, they're gonna be they're gonna want to get down with us.
Right.
You know? It's gonna come into their mind, but yo, I wanna be like them, man.
Now they're gonna want to get down with the winning team now.
Yeah, because if I see something like that, which, that's the type of stuff you would see in a movie.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, Howard Shy cracking the clouds. You see a so-called black man coming out the sky. Like, what the hell is going on?
You're gonna have spiritual power, You might demonstrate it right before their eyes. Oh shit. Yo, who are these people? Who are they? They're gonna put down whatever they was into, or at least you would hope. And they're gonna want to be with us. And it also says in the book of Numbers how it speaks about Balaam and Balak and how the king of Moab, right? I believe that's how the story goes. He wished that his latter end would be that he's an Israelite. So even the other nations, they want to emulate us. They want to be like us. Shoot, you have people today trying to be like us over there in the lands.
Right.
So some of them are actually going to be Israelites, like I said, because you're going to have the Israelites that look like, heathens, that look like the other nations, and it's not going to be too bad for them in that day. It's going to be like they hit the lotto. Okay, I'm an Israelite, all right. I'm on the winning team. I'm on the chosen seed line. And like I said, we're going to have that spiritual power, so we're going to be able to see through their spirit tell them, all right, you're with us, you're an Israelite.
Right.
Because they're not going to know. Because, like I said, they have it in their minds that their whole life, that they're of one nation, and that's the nation that they're of. Whether it be of Elam, or something. Oh, I'm African,
Is more than that, or that was it?
Get that in Ezekiel. I think it's Ezekiel. It's gonna purge out the rebels. Yeah, that's Ezekiel 20,
38.
20 and 38.
This is Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 38.
Might start up a couple verses. Let's see. Is there more on that? Well, yeah. Yeah, verse 36.
This is Ezekiel 28 and 36. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord thy power. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
I'm curious to see what that word plead says in the Hebrew.
Let's see.
We got the word there is sapat, which that means judge. If I remember correctly, it means judge, right? To judge, govern. Yeah, so yeah. Now start off at verse 36.
It says, like as I pleaded with your father in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord thy power. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. And I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me.
Yeah, so you're gonna have our people that get killed off, man. They're gonna just be so far gone. When we go back into the wilderness, because you know there's gonna be a second wilderness, right?
Right.
We
Right.
don't have to have camera in the wilderness. So what do you think the wilderness is gonna be?
Honestly, I can't really call it, really. Because when I think about it, it could really, like you would think it would be like the forest, but I don't really think that's what it necessarily means. Maybe it meant that then,
No,
but
I'm saying like, what continent, what area, like where? What do you think? I'm just curious.
yeah.
Picking your brains.
I remember the apostles brought it out, and when they brought it, I was like, okay, but it's losing me right now.
I mean, I've heard that it could be in South America. Some brothers think that it could be in the Middle East somewhere.
I remember the apostles brought it out.
But really, we don't really know for sure. We don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. So,
Where we at with it?
was that 38? Yeah, this is Ezekiel 20 and 38. And I will purge out from you among the rebels, and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel.
Yeah, because you can imagine it like this. You can have scattered Israelites, and they're not gonna want to turn their back on their family members, because they might have family members where their family members aren't of the seed line of Jacob. They're not Israelites, so they're gonna be like, oh man, I can't leave my family. What did Yahweh Shai say?
You gotta forsake your wife, your children.
Read that. Because that's real. You can't let your family members hold you back from being with Yahweh Shai.
Matthew 19 and 29. And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or fathers, or mothers, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life.
Yeah, because that could be a stumbling block for a lot of Jakes, man. That's a stumbling block for them. They can't understand that concept of forgetting about their family. Because when you come into this truth, when you come into this ministry, and you really want to be with Yahweh Shai, and with the Most High, you can't just be like sidetracked by like stuff that's going on in your personal life, and stuff that's going on in your house.
Because ultimately, that stuff could just be a stumbling block. I got another one. This is Luke 14 and 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sister ye and his own life, also he cannot be my disciple. And it doesn't mean like you necessarily gotta like have a disdain for them. You just gotta be willing to just,
Just forget about them.
give up on them.
Because they're not going to make it.
Right.
You can have family members now that are Israelites. Both your mother and your father are Israelites. And you can't get them to see this truth clearly. You can't get them to see it.
Right.
Because, it's not meant for them to see it. So that's why the scriptures say, let every man work out his own salvation. So like I said, man, just picture that. Your mother's a Edomite, but your seed line goes back to Jacob on your father's side. You go like, man, I love my family, man. I love my mother. I love my favorite uncle. My favorite uncle. Nah, man. Just forget about it, because when you come into this truth and you come around brothers that are like-minded, it's like, that's your new family.
It's like you just said, you're just closer with them, and you guys see things the same way. It's like you have more in common with them than your actual blood.
Yeah, and that's sad. Does it sadden some people? Yeah, but that's just how it is right now. That's why it says in Matthew, we're gonna get our family back tenfold. Read that. I think it's in that same chapter. Matthew, I think it's 19. I'm not even so sure though.
This is Matthew 19 and 29. And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or fathers, or mothers, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life.
Yeah, my name's sake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta profess. You gotta profess that Yahweh Shai is king.
Not Jesus Christ.
Who's the King Christ? You gotta confess that Yahweh Shai is the Lord, man. And you gotta understand who the Most High is. All right, it's the supreme power of the universe. You know what I'm saying?
Ruler of all things.
You come around somebody, an Israelite stranger, they can't confess to you Allah. You know what I'm saying? They can't come to you with no Buddhism.
I don't want to hear none of that shit. I don't want to hear Jesus Christ. I don't want to hear Yah. I don't want to hear Yahweh. I don't want to hear none of that.
You know what I'm saying? We got some of our people that are so far gone with Christianity, because Christianity is really all around the world.
Yeah.
They go like, man, I don't want to make it. I don't want to be in the kingdom if I'm gonna have slaves. I don't want to do it, man.
That's because they don't have a ruling class mindset. Esau ain't have no problem with having your ass as a slave, but you don't want none? He ain't think twice about it.
What does the scripture say? You reap what you sow.
You want to continue in Ezekiel? Yeah. This is Ezekiel 20 and 39. As for you, O house of Israel, thus saith the Lord thy power, go ye, serve ye everyone his idols, and hereafter also, if ye will not hearken unto me, but pollute ye my holy name no more with your gifts and with your idols. For in mine holy mountain, in the mountain of the height of Israel, saith the Lord thy power, there shall all the house of Israel, all of them in the land, serve me. There will I accept them, and there will I require your offerings and the holy first fruits of your oblations with all your holy things.
Yeah, the first fruits. So that's the elect. Those that make it through the hellstorm, the fire. You know, because right now we are being purified. You know, we're catching hell. We're going through adversity. Some brothers more than others. And, ultimately, that's just making us stronger, man. That's just purifying, like fine gold.
Right.
And so,
Can I? Okay.
yeah, you can add.
I got a precept for that. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. Let's start at 4. It says, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate." Here's the point. "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall."
Yeah, don't go aside looking for the truth in some other philosophy or in some other doctrine, because this is the one and only truth.
It says, "Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fall." That's it. That's it on that. You could read that whole chapter, really. But that's it on that.
Give Revelation 2:27.
Start at 26. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 26. "And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations."
So is the end here yet? Obviously not. So that's why we have to endure it. You know? Because what are we gonna need salvation?
Jacob's trouble.
Yeah, Jacob's trouble. And we see the Third World War growing. How they're gonna drop ICBM missiles. They're getting ready for that. The armies are getting ready for that. U.S. military, NATO. So what's going to happen is that whole situation is going to escalate. What was you going to say?
I was reading this article. It was like a quick article. It was talking about how Putin, he has cancer, and how he's like,
Allegedly.
Allegedly, how he has cancer, and he's like, how he could like die soon. And then the first scripture that came to mind is like, how'd it go? They're gonna come down with wrath, knowing that they have but a short time, and that's what I thought of, and I was like, damn, who knows? This shit could go down any day, any minute now. It's Revelation 2:27, "And he shall rule them with the rod of iron, as the vessels of potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. He hath an ear, let him hear. With the Spirit saith..."
Where are we at?
This is Revelation 2:28. "And I will give him the morning star. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches." That's it.
Anything else?
Yeah. This is 2 Peter 3:12. It says, "Looking for and hasting unto the coming of
You
the..."
gotta start with a couple verses.
Start at 10. It says 2 Peter 3:10. "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat."
So the day of the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night. A lot of our people, they get caught off guard. And to add on to that, the missiles, the ICBM missiles, they can't be detected by anti-military radars, anti-missile radars. So they're gonna go through the radars, and then they're gonna make full contact with Babylon. They're gonna make full contact with this place, all right? Because America says that they have a missile defense system, but that ain't proven. You know, they say that there's like a smoke that's generated from the missiles that covers up the missile, and it can't be spotted by the radars. So
Right.
that's why it says that the day of the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night. Because the Most High, he's going to be a part of the missiles, man. The scriptures say that the Most High is a consuming fire. He's a consuming fire.
Ultimately, this is Yahweh movie. If he wants the missiles to hit, they gonna hit. There ain't nothing that this place can do about it.
Yeah, this is his movie, and you know the Most High is the director.
Right.
You know,
So the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
so what is gonna do that? Like we just explained, it's gonna be the missiles. Not only the missiles, but also the so-called UFOs, because they're gonna have that power to rain down destruction. They had it back then during the time of Exodus, when Israel was in the wilderness. You had Israelites that were getting killed off in the wilderness. They was getting zapped by the chariots.
And concentrated fire.
Yeah, man.
It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
Yeah, so you can't just walk up to a normal regular person and start talking about this stuff, start talking about prophecy, because they're gonna look at you like you're crazy.
Right.
But when you get around people that are like-minded, talk about prophecy, man, like what we're doing right now. We're bringing out prophecy. We're not telling you what we're gonna eat later on for dinner or what we had for breakfast. You know, we're not telling you what we was doing yesterday. Nah, man. You don't just come up here to talk crap.
Right. We're not just shooting the shit up here.
Yeah. We're about the business. We're on a mission.
Right. It says, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Yup.
Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth where dwelleth righteousness.
A new heaven and a new earth where dwelleth righteousness, man.
Right.
Because you can't say that this place is righteous. You can't say that.
No, we went out. And it's like we're like the only ones looking for the righteous kingdom. And when I say like us, I mean like the hopefully elect. Because some of you other camps, it's like y'all want to stay here. Y'all trying to build up here. So the hopefully elect, we went out. We went out yesterday. You got any more precept? That was the point.
Revelation 14.
Start at the top.
I suppose.
This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 1.
But the point I want is verse 3.
It says, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Sion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne.
Yeah, so we're out here singing this new song, man. We're artists, you know? And it just so happens that many of our people, that they don't want to hear this new song. You know, it's not soothing to them. You know? They think the truth is in something else. When this is the truth. This is the end all be all.
Right. It says, and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song, but the 144,000, which were redeemed from the earth.
Yeah, the 144,000. And you know, the 144,000 have been around since the beginning of time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Most High, he preordained who was chosen we're gonna be, who was elect we're gonna be.
Before the earth was created.
So, in other words, you really cannot make yourself of the elect.
That's why we say hopeful.
Yeah. It's gonna be revealed. But you know, you can have the propensities of someone of the elect. You can carry yourself a certain way, which someone of the elect will carry themselves. And you know, that could be your son. You know. But like I always said, that level of suspense is what helps keep you humbled.
Right.
You know, it helps keep you going. Because you can't be high-minded in this truth. What does the scripture say? Don't think of yourself to be more than what you ought to be. What is that in Romans? Because you got guys out there that feel like they should be worshipped, right? That they feel like they're the top guy. You know what I'm saying? They feel like everybody should come under them. Which, you know, there's nothing wrong with, you know, being under the rightful order. But you got people that are just, you know, thinking like zombies. And they coming up under a man and they're telling them to do something that's not scriptural.
Right. They just go along with it.
You know? Apostle Tahar did a video. He said that IUIC, you know, they got a thing where if your wife doesn't believe, that you gotta kick her out.
What's going on?
You gotta kick her to the curb. Which that's not good, man. Because what if you got a child with that woman? So what? You gonna break up the family?
Yeah. Now what? You gonna go deal with another man now?
No,
It's adultery.
That's just one example. But you know, you do give some credit to IUIC. They be hitting the scriptures.
Yeah, they be hitting the basics. They get it. This is Romans 12:3. It says, "For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think."
Yeah, in other words, you know, be humble, man. Don't be high-minded.
Yeah, show some humility. It says, "But to think soberly, according as Yahweh hath dealt to every man that measure of faith."
Yeah, because it's better that way. You know? It's always better to be humble.
Or the scripture says, "Boast not thyself."
Bring it out.
Sure, grab that.
But, there's a saying out there that don't mistake your confidence for arrogance, though.
Right.
Because we're confident that we have the truth. But we tell this to somebody else that doesn't think that we have the truth. They're going to look at us like, what do they think they are?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
This is Proverbs 27:1. It says, "Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what day may bring forth."
No, that's not the one.
No, that's not it. Yeah, that's not the one I was thinking.
That basically, you know, means live day to day. Because you don't know what tomorrow's going to hold. Which, you know, we do live day to day. You know, the scripture said to give us our daily bread. Matthew chapter 6, the Lord's Prayer. You gotta push up. I got one.
Okay. Where is it?
Luke 7:32. No, Matthew 11:17. Start off at verse 16, I guess.
This is Matthew chapter 11, verse 16. But whereunto shall, excuse me, it says, "But whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets, and calling unto their fellows, and saying, We have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented."
Yeah, because we're singing this song and it's not soothing to it's not soothing to certain people out there. And so, what do we do with people like that? We just forget about it. Just keep going. Because you're gonna have some of our people where this truth resonates with them. Right?
Continue.
Yeah.
It says, for John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say he hath a devil. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, behold, a man gluttonous and a winebibber, a friend of publicans and sinners, but wisdom is justified of her children.
In other words, you can't satisfy everybody. You can't make everybody happy. So that's why the people that can really see this picture, get the big picture, it's going to be good for them. All right, good, cool. Now the people that don't see it, they're just going to get wiped out, man. They're going to die the death of Esau and the other nations. They're going to get caught up in the destruction. And they're going to have to come back in the kingdom as newborn babes. And then they're going to know that the Israelites are going to have the laws in their inward parts. It's going to be programmed in their mind, like we read earlier in Jeremiah 31.
Anything else?
You got something else?
Go to Ezekiel. Did we read this already? We might have.
What chapter?
11.
No, we never read that.
Did we read that? Yeah, okay. This is Ezekiel 11 and 17. It says, therefore say, thus saith the Lord thy power, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries where ye have been scattered, and I will gather you the land of Israel.
So we practically did read that because it says that in Ezekiel 36. You see how the scriptures go hand in hand?
Right. Precept upon precept. Yeah. And they shall come thither, and they shall take away all the detestable things thereof, and all the abominations thereof from tents.
Yeah, some of us need to be saved from ourselves.
It says, and I will give them.
Really, all of us. Because,
we're in these bodies. We're all dead. We're all gonna go off.
We're in these fleshly bodies, man.
It says, and
we can't do it on our own.
Right, we need a savior.
Yeah, we need a savior. But you got guys out there that are high-minded, that don't believe in the Mashiach Yahushua.
Right.
They think that they got it. Old Testament, only Israelites. When really, the Lord is prophesied about in the Old Testament as well.
It says, and I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within you, and I will take the stony heart out of the flesh, and will give them a heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes and keep mine ordinances and do them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power.
You got a precept in the first.
It says, but as for them whose heart walketh after the heart of their detestable things and their abominations, I will recompense their way upon their own heads, saith the Lord thy power. That's it.
Psalms 110 and 1. Because you got people out there that think that the Lord is not spoken about in the Old Testament. They don't believe in the Messiah. He's not going to come back and take down Esau and set up his kingdom. So if that's the case, then it's just the kingdom of heaven. Like, when is there going to be order on earth? When is that going to happen? You know? See, I got questions for people like that out there. So what's our hope then?
This is Psalms chapter 110 verse 1. The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou at my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool. The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb, the morning thou hast a dew of thy youth. Yeah, we read that.
I think it's the verse. This will come a rod out of Jacob, a star out of Jacob. I think it's in that chapter.
The second verse. The Lord shall send.
Yeah, it is the second verse, right?
Yeah. It said, The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies.
Nah, I don't think that's it.
Huh? It's a short chapter.
Oh man. Look at that. Let's see if I can find it. Speak if you want.
Trying to find this precept I was thinking.
Oh, that's Numbers 24 to 17.
This is Numbers, chapter 24, verse 17. I shall see him, but not know. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel.
And Yahweh Shai is that star. You know, he's referred to as the day star. You understand?
And
He has the light.
and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession, Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies.
So how do you explain that?
Right,
How do you get around that?
right.
I should look up the commentary for that. See what the scholars said.
They're not gonna get it. They're not gonna have it, right?
They're not gonna admit it.
Right. And Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth out of the city, And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be he perished forever.
Amalek is the small house, all right? People over there in the land today, the land of Israel. Continue.
So he looked on the Canaanites and took up his parable and said, Strong is thy dwelling place, and thou puttest thy nest in a rock. Nevertheless, the Canaanite shall be wasted, until Ashur shall carry thee away captive. And he took up his parable and said, Alas, who shall live when Yahweh doeth this? And ships shall come from the coast of Shittim, and shall afflict Ashur, and shall afflict Eber, and he also shall perish forever. And Balaam rose up.
That's all, man.
I got one. Second Ezra chapter 4, verse 28. It says, "But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee. For evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good?" See, Babylon, this place has to be destroyed before we can see the righteous kingdom. It says, if therefore that which is sown be not, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown without good? For the grain of evil seed hath been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. And how much ungodliness hath it brought upon this time? And how much shall it yet bring forth unto the time threshing come? So see, you had wickedness, it was wickedness back then. So how much more now? That was it on that. You got one?
So that's 11 and 1.
This is Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1. "And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him."
You know what that's talking about? It's talking about the Lord, Yahweh. Because when you look at the genealogy of the Lord, he actually does come from the seed line of David. He comes from that genealogy. You know, as his parents do.
The spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord.
Yeah. You know, that embodies Yahweh. And when this kingdom is set up, you know, that's what the world is going to be. You know, people are going to fear the Most High. You know, the story of what the Most High did to the Egyptians, yeah, that still stands today. Everybody knows about that. It's going to be even more close in people's minds to what the Most High is going to do when he comes back with his son. All right, when this place is wiped out, Babylon. That's going to be like such a close memory. It's not going to be distant. People gonna remember what they was doing that day, what they ate, what they was doing in that particular moment. They might have been watching the news. It's like, yo, what the hell is going on, man? We got stuff that's flying in the skies. You don't know what it is. It's just, it's an alien invasion. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be a great day, man.
Right.
It's gonna be a story. So you can't wait till the kingdom comes, man. Like we said, you can't wait till these prophecies come to pass. You want to finish off a couple in that verse or whatever? We'll close out.
It says, "And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked, and righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins."
Yeah, because we're gonna have that power, man.
Right.
That's it on that?
Yes.
So we'll close on that. We'll give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makakadash. Shalom.
Shalom.